Happy Monday, everyone. Let's get it started. Gonna be camping in your chair, in your living room, in your car. Let's get started.
We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second, have you feel like this? Make me feel like this. Young blood made of gold, a mind you can't control. Running wild, can't calm down. My head is in the clouds. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second, I can feel like this. Make me feel like this.
Oh yeah, I love it. Hello. Get started.
We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second, I can feel like this. Make me feel like this.
Carol, honey, I have so many texts right now. I don't know. My phone's been going off.
I'm on my last straw. I'm broken and I'm woken up. I'm done feeding your lies. I've had enough. I can't run your place in this faulty game. And all the words you speak mean nothing more to me. 'Cause I'd start over now. Rewind. And I won't let you
Thank you,
go.
Miss Molly.
Need you by my
Thank you, lovey, lovey. Mwah.
Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. Ask me how we got here, 'cause you don't know how. You say we're taking on water, yeah, we're sinking now. You're looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown. But we both know how to swim, no worries, let's go for now. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. I drag you out your mind, and there are days I hate you, but baby, you're still mine. And now we have the best times, no matter what we do. And even when we don't, there's nobody I'd rather choose. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me.
Are ready to put your pearls on? Thank you, Criminal Justice True Crime. Much love to you, my dear. Y'all better be ready to put your pearls on. Come on.
I'm broken and I'm woken up. I'm done feeling your lies. I've had enough. I can't run your place in this faulty game. And all the words you speak mean nothing more to me. 'Cause let's start over now.
Here we go.
Rewind. And I won't let you go. I need you by my side. Big rain, come along with me. Together with the truth you see. Got our pearls and our laughter too. The search for facts is always new.
No. Nick said.
Keep it real. Classy vibes and joyful zeal. Join the journey, it's just begun. We shine brighter than the sun. Hit the light and share the vibe. Crush those pearls, let's take the ride. Hell is here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear. Standing truth is what we do. So hit subscribe and join the crew. With every search we pave the way. Together we will save the day.
Me and you, we're gonna play.
Every laugh we lift
Well, hello, everyone. Good to see you all. Really do appreciate you all for joining me. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube, anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is February 24th, 2025. It is currently 7:27 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Bonjour. So good to see you all. I know my phone has been going off non-stop, uh, just like it just did. Thank you, K-Mac. Really to appreciate you. No, don't let your BP get up. Don't let your BP get up. Guys, everything is okay. Everything is okay. So, Nick Beres came out today and said that this is not a criminal investigation. I have one thing to say to Nick. Wrong, mother chicken. Wrong. You know it, and I know it. And if I need to refresh your memory, I shall. Also, you've said it. You said it in March, let alone a year from now. Uh, he is supposedly going live here shortly, and we'll listen to it as well. Amber Alert equals criminal. Oh, I mean, guys, I have an email from Mr. Carter who says, look at the phone. Okay. Tony, can you send it to 307? Hold on. Mm, yeah. Yeah. Yep. It's a criminal investigation. I will tell you 100,000%. This is and has been and continues to be a criminal investigation. Now, there's two ways about this that could be happening. It could be strategic, or it could be Nick doing whatever Nick does. We'll see. We'll see. Why is Nick saying different? I don't know. I think people should ask, when was this confirmed to you, Nick? And you haven't pulled down the video from March 4th. And look, look, look at all the emails that I got from Brandon Carter. Brandon Carter at sumnersheriff.com, January 10th, 2025, 10:29 a.m. Brandon Carter, January 10th, 10:07 a.m. Brandon Carter, January 10th, 8:14 a.m. The most important one, let me find it, is this one right here. Let me pop it forward. There you go. Brandon Carter, January 10th, 10:13 a.m. Well, We can't tell anybody not to say anything. The only thing I can say is this is an ongoing criminal investigation. It's the only case I work to present day. Signed, Detective Brandon Carter, Sumner County Sheriff's Office, Criminal Investigation Division, 117 West Smith Street, Gallatin, Tennessee, 37066. Desk 651-442-1860 motherfreaking 5. Okay, look, we're going to go to Nick and see what he's saying. Here we go. I'll put his link. We'll give him credit.
There in Sumner County. He was not the sheriff at the time that this happened. Go out and respond to that. And then I've also
Why does he keep going in and out?
talked and had close contact with the man who from the beginning has headed up this investigation there in Sumner County. He was not the sheriff at the time that this happens, and talks weekly with investigators, standing by, wants to know what's going on, what the latest is with all of that. That's where my information is coming from. Of course, I talked to some other people close to the case, people in the neighborhood, people like this who have been at candlelight vigils, the like. At one time or another, I've had contact with Sebastian's parents, but have not had any contact with them recently. They've certainly done a lot of interviews over the past year, not only on TV, but on social media. So you've heard from them as well. So that's where I'm coming from. And I know there may be some people out there that say, well, Nick, we just don't believe in law enforcement. We're not going to put our stake in law enforcement. Where's the FBI? Well, the FBI is involved to a degree that they are behind a $50,000 reward for Sebastian. I'm just looking for the latest on that. They're asking for tips to be sent to them, but also specifically to 1-800-TBI-FIND. But look, there are people that say, well, we don't have faith in law enforcement to continue this investigation. They haven't broken it after a year. Look, if you followed missing children cases in the past, and I've covered sadly enough of them, these are not easy cases to solve. And I've followed many investigations in my career. And frankly, there have been some over the years that I felt they kind of dropped the ball on this.
Thank you,
haven't
Renee.
done everything they could do. As far as I can tell, and no one's telling me to do this, I have no stake in this except I want Sebastian found safe and sound. As far as I can tell, law enforcement from the very beginning, with the search and everything else, did this textbook and used every resource that they possibly could, and they continue to do so. So if there's people out there say, well, I want to go with these, I think Dog the Bounty Hunter and others are involved. Hey, good for them. I'm glad they're involved. They're not here. They haven't been on this from the very beginning. They haven't seen all that's been done. I think the more people involved, the better. But I'm not here to slam anyone. And I'm certainly not here to say, well, I don't buy law enforcement. I'm just going to go along with some guy says on social media. It's not the way to do it. And I think that's born out of frustration that we're all feeling right now, and we wish it could be solved. Let me tell you this. No one is more frustrated and disturbed by the situation with Sebastian, aside from his family, of course, than law enforcement.
Did you talk to Mr.
They
Carter, though,
desperately
Nick?
want this solved. And I can tell
Did
you
you
right
talk to
now,
Mr.
District
Carter?
Attorney Ray Whitley would love it if this case turned criminal and that there was a suspect brought before them. He would be ready to prosecute and go after them immediately. But that gets to this other point about some of the things that I wanted to hit on that is new. And then I'm going to look at your comments and try to answer what I can. Okay. But look, I've talked to them. This is not a criminal investigation. Okay. And a lot of you are going to say, well, the $50,000 reward from the FBI, and it's not a criminal investigation. Let me just explain what that means. And I've talked with not only the DA, but the police chief, or rather the sheriff, this past week. And asked them specifically. Again, people are wondering, is this a criminal
What did he say,
investigation?
though, Nick?
And they say, no, Nick, what this is an investigation. We're looking into it and looking for any possibility. That does not mean we're ruling out a criminal investigation. But at this point, there is no evidence to indicate something criminal. So we are not calling it a criminal investigation. And you're like, well, how else could a 15-year-old just suddenly vanish? He had to be abducted. Potentially, sure. I hear what people are saying about that. 15-year-olds like this just don't vanish, do they? But there can be other explanations. And in the absence of any physical evidence, any eyewitnesses, any video that really shows him being grabbed or abducted or something bad happening, they're just calling it an investigation. It is not a criminal investigation. There are no suspects. From the very beginning, yes, the first suspect, whenever
We're going to
something like
remind
this
him.
comes down, are those closest to the person who's missing. And that would be the
He
parents.
forgot what
Oh,
he
you
talked
bet.
about.
I've said this time and again. They have vetted his mother, stepfather, and biological father. They have checked and double checked their stories. They have interviewed them. The family has cooperated. They haven't lawyered up and clammed up and not cooperated with police from the very beginning. Now, a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, his mom, she was the one there. She had to be. Really? Give us the proof. Where is it? Okay. I mean, you can go ahead and guess or whatever.
Oh,
There's no proof.
my
To this point,
God.
there's no evidence whatsoever that anyone close to him had any involvement in what happened to him. So what else could have happened? He could have wandered off on his
No,
own.
he didn't.
He could have
In my
fallen into
opinion.
some crevice they haven't searched, which I find hard to believe.
Yeah.
And he has not been found and got hurt. He maybe somehow ended up somewhere where he was in a dumpster for some reason and got carted away, even though they have searched a landfill. I don't know. I'm as at loss as anyone else. So in the absence of all else, do you think there's a possibility he was grabbed or abducted? Absolutely. And law enforcement will acknowledge that is a distinct possibility. But they say at this point, there is no evidence of that. They don't see anything. Trust me, if there was some inconsistency or some evidence or something that pointed to any one of Sebastian's family members, they'd nail him and hope that they could break and crack him, and then Ray Whitley would prosecute. Now, I'm not saying that evidence might not surface as this continues, but as we speak here right now, there is no evidence of that. And if you're tuning in here hoping to hear some new revelation, the sad fact is here we are a year later, okay? And still talking to all of those who are close to this case, they are no further along in terms of any new leads. In fact, I'm told now the tips and the calls that had been coming in on 1-800-TBI-FIND have really pretty much slowed to a trickle. There just hasn't been much. I mean, the story is still out there. Of course, with time it fades, but it hasn't faded for law enforcement. I asked, is this now after a year considered a cold case, which means it's kind of on the back burner. It's not going to be solved. If something comes up, fine, but we're moving on. And they said, no, this remains an active case. We talk about it every week. We look at the possibility of any reports along the lines.
Like my
all of that, okay,
like my
is
email
something that
says,
they continue. So it is not a
been on
cold
it
case,
the last
and
year.
it remains active. There's reward money out there. Have there been more searches? Some people said, well, they were going to wait for the change of seasons and go out here. I know that there have been private searches conducted. I know family members have been involved in searches. I know Ken Widener has had crews out in response to certain things. I know there have been photographs sent from around the country. I had some photos sent to me today from someone who saw a person that looked like Sebastian in Salt Lake City. I think it was probably a few weeks ago that I was someplace, I'm trying to remember where it was, and I saw someone that resembled him. And you know, I just walked right up and stared at him. All right. I mean, I didn't just, oh, that might be him, I'm going to call it in. If I see someone that looks like Sebastian, I'm going up and checking. I've seen enough photos that I can tell up close if it's him or not. And I went up there. He may have thought I was a little weird. What are you looking at? But I went up there to look at him and just kind of glance. And I realized, no, that's not him. But I checked it out. Almost all of these photos, a lot of people say, well, I thought I saw someone, or there was a report in Seattle or the airport in Salt Lake City and whatever. They do their best to track those down. You know, there've been some photos from around the region here during the past year that showed someone that looked like him. They vetted that out and found out it was not him. So it remains just a confounding mystery. I'm trying to think where else to go with all of this. It's just heartbreaking to me. You know, I try to think of other cases. Summer Wells, of course, comes to mind. That's the tragic case out of East Tennessee. And that little girl has never been found. A lot of people thought maybe her parents were involved, but law enforcement never found a link to that. And she remains missing. She was, I think, only 5 years old. Another one, Joe Clyde Daniels. He disappeared. And again, after the fact, his father, under questioning, confessed to killing the boy. And there was a trial and he was convicted and he's serving life in prison. But had the father never confessed, had he not broken, that case would never likely be solved because Joe Clyde's remains still have never been found. People disappear. We can go back years. Janet March, remember that case from the 90s? Her husband, Perry March, is serving life in prison for killing her, but it took a while to get him, but her body has never been found. So a lot of people who say, well, law enforcement's not doing a good job, they're not doing enough. I mean, there is a lot of pressure on
It's
them.
not his opinion
But,
privately either, in my opinion.
Finding this when they do everything, sometimes things are like this. The Holly Bobo case. Holly Bobo disappeared for a long time. They had these suspects. Law enforcement looked everywhere. And finally, it was several years later that her remains were found by a ginseng hunter in the woods. That's what it took. They had searched every place else as best they could. So these types of things happen where they can't find anything. The one thing that gets me here is that there's just no sign. It's as though he vanished into thin air. The dogs were out there. People are going to ask, were dogs used? Yes, dogs were used very early on. Drones were used early on. They've checked the ponds. They've checked caves. They've gone a large distance around the area. You would have thought, a scent that would have continued. But Ken Widener said a lot of people early on thought, well, the dogs hit on a scent and it died and ended at a pond, which, by the way, they searched. And he goes, that really wasn't true. We didn't know about that. What other evidence was there? There was some evidence that I had from early on. I got it about the same time law enforcement did, you may recall, of what appeared to be some lights outside the family home in the middle of that night. It looked like lights moving, but you really couldn't make anything out. I had the story. It's out there. Many of you have probably seen it. Not long after I ran that story, law enforcement eventually had it too and analyzed it and then came back and said, there's nothing of evidentiary value in that video. To this day, I still don't know or have a good explanation for what those lights were, but they're telling me unless something new develops right now, they don't think that has anything to do with why Sebastian disappeared. I still have my questions about it, but I take them at their word. Last week, a video surfaced by a private investigator. A couple of local media outlets, I think, ran with it. I don't know if they ran with it before they talked to law enforcement. But law enforcement said they had that video since 72 hours after the boy disappeared. They had already vetted it. The district attorney told me straight up, Nick, there is nothing to this. It is of no evidentiary value. It is not a big break in the case like someone reporting. Yeah, and even if it was something significant that they thought, you can't make anything out from that video. You're not making out a face. You can't tell who it is. So there's been some videos out there that haven't guided us anywhere. That's the other thing. This neighborhood, very
You mean
dark,
your video?
Lights.
Your video?
Not too many cameras captured anything. So the circumstances to this day, my heart goes out to the families, the mother, stepfather, the biological father, all care deeply about this boy along with everyone else. And we so much want it solved. But here's the sad fact. The longer a child is missing, the less likely that child is found. Law enforcement right now, a year later, say, we cannot tell you whether or not Sebastian is alive or dead. It's heartbreaking. But where is he? Was he abducted? Was this child slavery or something like that? Why would they target a 15-year-old with autism? So many things just don't really add up. So every time I think I'm on a theory that might make sense, I think it through and say, no, that's not, and I just am at a loss. And I can tell you there are certain things about this case that law enforcement feels they cannot talk about publicly still. And they're not going to discuss some of their theories that they can't prove, but they have theories, trust me. Yes, and they try to find evidence matching the theories, but there's nothing.
You have no idea if there's nothing.
And that's the frustrating thing. I'm not saying, I mean, this is a year later, and I think on this grim milestone, it's worth doing this Facebook Live to try to, and I'll see your comments here in a moment. I'll scroll through and try to answer, but there's not much more than when I did a update 2 months ago, or when I did an update 6 months ago. There's just nothing, nothing new to report. And it's not that they aren't working it. It's an active case. And so that's what I had for you. And I wish I had more to share with you. I know so many people are following this story and have strong emotions and feelings about it. And I'm with you. And if some of you are angry or you don't understand or you don't agree with me, that's okay. Because what we're talking about, and I think regardless if there's disagreements, we all are coming from the same place. And that is hoping and praying that somehow Sebastian is found alive somehow and can be returned to his family. That's my goal. I have no, for people who say, well, Nick, you're just going along with law enforcement. Oh, Nick, you don't follow. I have no dog in this fight. No one tells me what to report, okay? I go ask the questions, I get that from different sources, and I report it at what I believe to be credible. The only thing I care about. I'm not looking for clicks on my Facebook page. I'm not looking, I get paid by the station to do my news stories every day. My sole goal is to try to keep the story out there to some degree, try to answer your questions, and hopefully help in some way solve this case with Sebastian. That's it. I have no other dog in this fight. So I'm going to go with what I believe is factual, most credible. And I've tuned out a lot of the noise that's on social media because some of it, frankly, started getting pretty darn ugly. People attacking each other and saying, oh, that doesn't help. And I've talked to law enforcement who said throughout all of this, the social media has done absolutely nothing to help this case. And in fact, has muddied the waters because it's just so out there. But again, in the vacuum of no information on what happened to him, I can understand in this day and age with social media how things explode. And I'm on social media here myself right now. But I'm going to stick to the facts as best I can and try to answer the questions that you may have. And I'll do the best I can. And you may not like my answers or you may not agree with what I say. And that's fine. I think that's the case you're feeling as sad and frustrated about this as I am. I'm just trying to be as fair and as impartial as possible. So I'm going to scroll back down through this and look at many of your questions and comments and see what we got here. Why is it all of a sudden not a criminal investigation? It's not all of a sudden not a criminal investigation. I guess maybe Elizabeth had heard that people maybe had said, well, yeah, it's criminal, or they heard investigation, they took it as criminal.
Talking
It has never been a criminal investigation. It's not been ruled out. They're not saying there's no criminal activity here. What they're saying is right now it's just a general investigation. Maybe he wandered off on his own. Maybe he was abducted. We don't know. If we decide that we have evidence that he was abducted, it'll become a criminal investigation.
There's a fucking Amber Alert. His signal cut out.
What it is, it hasn't changed, but it is not criminal. And what I mean by that is there is no evidence that something criminal happened here. You may suspect that, but unless there's blood, instance, an eyewitness, then there's no evidence. You can have the theory, but it doesn't make it real. You have to prove it. So it's not all of a sudden. It never has been a criminal investigation, ever. Let's see. Why don't you tell them directly what the Sumner County Sheriff? I did. I don't know what I've left out.
Oh, I'm going to trust.
The sheriff tell me. That's basically what I talked to him and what he told me. It's not a criminal investigation. We don't have suspects. It is not a cold case. We are continuing to work it as an active investigation. And the number of tips have dwindled significantly. I mean, that's basically what I'm not keeping anything from you. Now, he may be keeping something from me. And in the investigation, I'm sure there's certain things the TBI doesn't want to share, perhaps. But I'm telling you what they tell me. That's all. I'm not keeping anything from you. Let's see what else.
Getting trashed right now.
So why did it change? A lot of people think it changed, and maybe at one point some were reporting it as being criminal. I think at one point I raised that question quite often, saying, "Is this criminal? Is this criminal?" And at some point there were some that seemed to indicate that it could become that.
You know what you said in private.
All I'm saying is, if that's the case, what they're being very clear now is that it is not criminal because there's no evidence that something criminal took place. There can be other reasons why Sebastian's missing besides a criminal act. But if they find evidence of it, they'll immediately call it that. And I said the district attorney's ready to prosecute the moment they go that way. So who's lying? I mean, why does someone have to say, oh, someone's lying? No one's lying. No one is lying. You think there's some mass cover-up because they don't want Sebastian found? Get a clue. All right.
I think you are.
Let's see. What else do we have here? I have a pic of an email.
This is why.
He's saying, in fact, it is.
This is why news
whatever.
is
Believe
dead.
what you want to believe. Okay, if you want to believe it's a criminal investigation,
This is why nobody watches
there's
the news
no suspects.
anymore.
There's no
This
evidence.
is exactly why.
Believe it. If you believe it's a criminal investigation, then that feeds the narrative that yes, clearly someone had to take Sebastian because he wouldn't disappear on his own. Which, frankly, I'm inclined to agree with you. It's unlikely that he just disappeared on his own. Someone else had a hand in this, but there's no evidence of it. Without evidence, you can't call it criminal. Okay. I mean, that's just it. So
What
all
about
it
your
is, and maybe at one
two
point
people
an
with
investigator said,
flashlights?
yeah, we're
Nick,
looking
come
at it as a
on,
criminal.
dude.
But I'm just telling you, I talked to the district attorney, I talked to the
You
sheriff,
talk to the
I
damn
talked to
neighbors
Ken
too.
Widener, and I talked to my sources with the TBI. And they said, hey, at this point, it is an investigation. It is not a criminal investigation because we don't have evidence of a crime other than a boy missing. And a boy can go missing for a number
my
of
God,
reasons that aren't
Smiley.
criminal. I mean, that's just it. I mean, I don't think that's that
Honey,
hard to understand.
shame
So
on
call
you,
it what
Nick.
you want. You
Right
want to believe it's
before the
criminal? I don't care.
day
Fine.
of the
Let's
one-year
wait and see if
anniversary,
they
you
charge
have no
someone or
news of
make an arrest.
officer.
I mean, whatever. Believe what you want to believe. I
Thank you
don't
so
know.
much,
They're
Smiley.
saying
That's very
Brandon
generous
Carter
of
says
you.
it's a criminal. That's fine. Believe Brandon. Ask
Trust
Brandon
me.
where the evidence is that proves it's criminal. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have it.
He's not going to tell
You
you.
know. So if there's times where back in early on, there may have been some that said, yeah, right now we're looking at this becoming a criminal investigation. I may have reported that because I was told we're looking at it maybe becoming a criminal investigation. We think it's going to become a criminal investigation. And there may have been some who did say it was. I'm not saying you're wrong for hearing that, but all I can say is where we stand now. Perhaps there were leads they thought were going to lead to criminal investigation. They have not come through. And so that's what I'm being told. Right now, it is an investigation. It could turn criminal, but right now, and I don't know what the big deal is. As long as they're investigating it, wherever it goes.
You got to
but I
be
think everyone's like, what's
investigating
criminal? That means
something.
there's
Who are you
someone else. Well,
investigating?
believe that. Do I believe someone had a hand in him? This is my belief. In him disappearing as opposed to him just vanishing on his own? I think the odds are probably yeah. But I need proof of that.
Exactly.
Without proof of it, it's a theory and not proof that it's criminal.
He's getting clobbered right now.
Yeah, a lot of people say that the law enforcement screwed up the investigation since day one. Really? How? Were you there? I was there. I was out there. How did they screw it up? Tell me how law enforcement screwed this up from day one. Please, someone explain. Everyone's saying, so they lied to us. I guess, why would they lie? I mean, what about the flashlights I told you? They told me that the flashlights don't seem to have any evidentiary value at this point, and that's what I reported. I have to go with what they tell me, unless something else comes. Finally, someone quoted the correct reward amount. It is $50,000. I heard that there was some other reward money out there beyond that, but I've learned to be very, very cautious with reward money. A lot of people throw out, I'm going to pay this reward. The reward will get this big. And when the case is solved, sometimes the money that's really actually paid out to the person who helped solve the case, if there was one, oftentimes isn't as much as what they said originally, or it's hard to collect. Now, the FBI is offering 50 grand. The FBI is offering it. You solve the case, you're going to get that money. And so it is $50,000 from the FBI. But I know some of the other monies out there, I can't vouch for it, but I've heard it's at minimum 50,000. Let's see. Yeah, this one woman says, I have a friend from high school that has been missing for almost 28 years. It's like she vanished into thin air. A lot of people wondering, a lot of people saying, Nick, you told us it was. If I told you early on that it was a, if I told you early on it was a criminal investigation, it may have been in connection with the fact that early on,
Oh, it cuts out. How convenient. How fucking convenient. Yep, he cut out on my phone too. How fucking convenient does he cut out? Even on my phone. Please play it. I'm waiting. There is nothing.
The Amber Alert remains in effect for Sebastian. It doesn't say that it could turn.
This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Why? I mean, what the hell happened? When he gets ready to answer the
Couldn't hear me still out there. There we go. Why we have a slow connection?
rewind, mother chicken.
Yeah, so I'm just trying
Answer
to
that.
establish that, but I don't want to spend too much. Let's just assume, if you want, those of you who believe it's a criminal investigation and that we were told it was, and that that's what they said, fine. Let's just assume it is. Okay, if it's criminal investigation and it's been criminal for all this time, they must have a suspect in mind. Why has no one been arrested? Where's the evidence that makes it criminal? That's all I'm saying. If you want to believe it's criminal, fine. I can't remember. I've done so many stories.
Would you
I'm just
please
telling
answer
what
why
they
you
told
said
me.
it was criminal and
Believe
it
what you want to believe. Believe it's criminal. That's fine. It
cut
changes
out?
nothing. Whether it's criminal or not, it doesn't tell you who the suspects are. It doesn't tell you any of that. I wonder how dogs couldn't pick up his scent when the mom said he left barefoot. That's a great question. That's one of those quandaries. I don't get it. You're right. You know, and that other part about, you know, the boy leaving barefoot, why would he have gone out barefoot with a flashlight? I remember his father, Seth, telling me that when he was a young boy, he had wandered outside barefoot once and made his way over to a fire anthill and really got lit up. And he never forgot that. And so Seth said ever since then, he always wore shoes or something on his feet when he went outside. But this night, he went out in his pajamas, barefoot with a flashlight. Is what the report was, I guess, from the mother. So what would lead you to do that? I'm thinking, okay, if he leaves his house in the middle of the night, I'm guessing he heard something and wanted to go check on it. Was someone outside his window? Did he hear something? Did he grab the flashlight and go out quickly thinking, I'm just going to check on it and I'll come back in? Otherwise, he would have taken time to put his shoes on. That's a great question, you know, because he wouldn't typically go outside without shoes, but he went out really quickly. See what else we got. So many people are upset that whether I told them it was a criminal investigation at some point, or they misinterpreted what I meant, or maybe I did at one point early on. All I'm telling you is, as we stand here now, and since I've last checked in with all law enforcement, they say it is not.
Oh,
criminal
Brandy,
investigation.
we're
It's
gonna
simply
we're
an
going
investigation right
to.
now. So it's changed then, perhaps. No proof that any parent did something to him. That's right. A lot of, yeah, that's just it. I think everyone gets upset because they hear criminal, which means, okay, that means maybe we can bring it, arrest them, and get them before Ray Whitley tomorrow. You think they're playing around on this?
No, I
They
don't
don't
think
have
they're
any
playing around.
evidence. So that's why I say it's not criminal now. Could it become criminal? Absolutely. Let's see, what else do we have? Any questions? Why? No. Let's see. A lot of people say law enforcement did a bad job from the beginning, but no one's explaining to me how they did a bad job. They responded. They were out with drones. They circled the area. They immediately started interviewing the parents. What did they, I mean, all these people saying this, were you out there? Do you know how these things go? I mean, I followed the search for Summer Wells. I flew out there in the helicopter. I've seen that. I remember the massive search for Joe Clyde Daniels, which, by the way, I don't think was perfect at the beginning. Same thing with the search for Holly Bobo. Those had some problems early on. This one didn't. This one, to me, was almost textbook in the way they handled it. Were mistakes probably made along the way? Maybe so.
All right.
There we go. I mean,
do y'all want to continue to watch this,
People
or
don't vanish? I agree. People want to know if the
Are you
sheriff's
done with it?
department is
Let me
doing
know.
drive-bys to protect
One,
the
if you
community.
still
I
want to
don't
watch it.
know.
Two, if you don't.
A lot of people are saying, you're saying that Chris Proudfoot or Katie Proudfoot is not a suspect, the mother. Get out of here, Nick. Look, did they look at them as a possibility? I told you, everyone close to him has been vetted, and they've talked to him. They've interviewed him a number of times. They've interviewed them together, apart, to look for contradictions. They've checked any alibis, anything else. Yeah, heck yeah. Right off the bat, the most obvious person's watching TV with the dogs disappears tonight while I'm up here talking to you, and I have nothing to do with it. When law enforcement shows up tomorrow, I am suspect number one, until they look into it and realize, oh, well, Nick is on Facebook Live all night, so he couldn't have done it. I'm just saying, yeah, of course they were initially, but have they done all this vetting with the parents a year later? Still nothing. Hey,
Disappointing
maybe they
mystery.
committed the perfect crime, but without evidence, you cannot say they had anything to do with it. And they've cooperated. They haven't lawyered up.
Nobody is saying
aren't looking hard
specific
enough.
them.
I mean, I'd love it if they could be out there every day looking.
See, that's the thing. Nobody is saying anyone. I'm not saying anyone particular, but what I am saying is this is a criminal investigation. I have an email directly. Let me just show this again. From Detective Brandon Carter on January 10th, 2025 at 10:13 a.m. We can't tell anybody not to say anything. The only thing I can say is this is an ongoing criminal investigation. It's the only case I work to present day. Detective Brandon Carter, Sumner County Sheriff's Office, Criminal Investigation Division, 117 West Smith Street, Gallatin, Tennessee, 37066. Desk phone number 615-442-1865. It is criminal. The only thing that I can think of at this point is Nick is doing this because he's protecting his news station, being very cautious, or he's a dumbass because he went too far in the beginning. Now, we're going to recall some of the things that Mr. Beres said. First of all, we will hopefully hear from TBI Wednesday. They will generally put out a they usually do a press conference on the year anniversary. One thing Mr. and Mrs. and Auntie was talking about the other day, they've been pretty consistent with the 6-month mark. I can't remember what they did. Oh, at the 6-month mark, they put out a reward. On Sebastian's birthday, they started speaking with Seth. And when they started speaking with Seth, apparently Seth now has full faith in them. And so you just have to remember that. Second of all, with this bogus dog walking video that was literally pointless, I find it very interesting that right at the year mark, um, and after the interview Seth and Tony done with the Lore Lodge, which was a huge interview, I think that Edgar and KK had to do something. I think they had to do something. So, in my opinion, they wanted to, to look like you know, to change it up, really, to change it up, and give a a false sense of, oh, this new video, which law enforcement quickly shut that down real quick. Just like they kind of shut down the the green hoodie, right? There's some things that they have completely shut down very quickly. And there's a lot of things that they've just kept going. All I can tell you is keep the faith, people. Keep the faith. This is why there is a thing called fake news, right? It's bullcrap. It's absolute bullcrap. This is why people have no faith in the news any longer, because on March 4th, days into this, he is going to tell us that this is a criminal investigation. I'm here to tell you it's criminal. Okay? I think he got ahead of himself. I think in my opinion, he probably got in trouble for that video that he put out, and now I think he went from one extreme to the next. Now, Nick, haven't you allegedly told people at vigils privately that this is a criminal investigation as well? Haven't you done that? It's a question. Just asking. So let's, guys, thank you so much. Smiley, that was incredibly generous of you. Shame on you, Nick. Right before the day of the 1 year anniversary, you have no news. This is awful. What you're doing to Seth, in my opinion, we are going to get Sebastian justice and not $4. I will not trust Nick again. You friends, love you, Sebastian. We love you too, Smiley. Thank you so much. It's very generous of you, honey. Lakeside, a lot of people are. But listen, it's not over till the fat lady sings, right? And I haven't sang yet. So just keep the faith, all right? I meant please play when Nick was 3/4/24. I am. I certainly will. Absolutely. Thank you, Sense of Soul, and thank you, Brandy in Lakeside. Amber Alert is issued when there is reasonable belief by law enforcement that an abduction has occurred and that the child is in immediate danger or seriously bodily injury or death per Department of Justice. You can look that up. You can just Google why are Amber Alerts issued and what does it mean? And that is a quote. Exactly. Thank you, Sense of Soul. Really do appreciate it. Random on the dime. Eric sent to Justin my message to and from Nick Beres. Erica send to Justin my message to and from Nick Beres. I don't know what you mean, baby. Thank you so much. Thank you for 3 months. Thank you, Lady for Justice, keeping it real, Justin. Thanks. Thank you, my dear. And thank you, Lorraine. You are the best, Justin. You work so hard to bring the truth to the pearls with you. God bless you. Thank you, my dear. Really do appreciate you. Me and you. Thank you so much. Mohawk made a good statement earlier. This is the same guy that said social media is doing the case bad. He is using Facebook channel. Well, that is social media. Absolutely, Mohawk. Ginger, thank you so much. He has the audacity to say LE is no closer than they were on day one. Is he doing this because of ignorant, or is he doing this so Edgar and KK won't run? This has to be fake. I don't know. I gotta think that there is some strategic there, or I mean, we know, guys. I mean, we know that this is a criminal investigation. Uh, Vetted and cleared is straight from Proudfoot, not law enforcement. That's exactly right. Um, Law enforcement has not cleared anyone at all. Lady for Justice, thank you for gifting a pearl necklace. Really do appreciate you. Renee, thank you so very much. Welcome to the Pearl family. Pearls look amazing on you. Criminal Justice, True Crime, we love you too. Thank you so much for 3 months, my dear. Gary, thank you so much, my love. Good to see you. And Holly, thank you so much, my love. Good to see you as well. All right. All right. So let me play this right here.
I don't buy it. Something else is going on here. I mean,
I don't think, hold on, is he taking calls? Let me see if he's taking calls. 1 second. No, he's not taking calls. Hold on. I'm going to go back to this for 1 second. Just 1 second. Because now he's, God.
they haven't ruled out the possibility of a criminal act. But until they have some evidence to indicate it's a criminal act, they're just going to call it an investigation. But that's all, you know. Let's see. Has any of the parents been cleared? As far as I know, and this would say, I know early on some of the family members say, oh, we've all been cleared. He just says, look, there's no evidence that any of them did any one thing wrong, but we're not saying anyone's cleared yet. There could be evidence that surfaces that points to someone, and we're not going to clear them until we know for sure, you know, what's out there. So I don't believe anyone has been cleared, but that doesn't mean that they're suspects. It just means, no, we're not going to say, oh, beyond a shadow of a doubt, this person's innocent. They're just going to say, look, there's no evidence that they did anything wrong, but we're not going to clear them. That's kind of what they're saying. So frustrating that kids disappear. I agree. Let's see.
Holy hell.
Again, on the luminol thing, I will double check that for you. I will double check that. What do I mean? What's the big deal if it is investigated criminally? No, I mean, right now it's an investigation. It's a big deal. If it becomes criminal, it's a big deal. That means they've decided someone committed a criminal act towards Sebastian. So I'm not saying that's not a big deal. I'm saying right now, whether it's called criminal or not, if those of you who just want to call it a criminal investigation now without any evidence, that's fine. It's an investigation. All I care is that they're investigating. That's what it is.
Where did that come from, Erica?
Let's see. So what is the correct last seen date? And that has changed a few times. They say 25th or 26th. I think the date may have changed on the FBI report. I'll have to double check that. I don't know. People look to you and you're sharing incorrect
I got an
information,
email
says Jill.
from
I'm gonna catch
Mr.
You're going
Beres.
to catch from this because it's blowing up. Well, what's blowing up? All I'm saying is that
that I'm going to
I've been
show
told
you
this weekend
in a
from the
minute.
DA and the sheriff that this is an investigation, not a criminal investigation at this point. But they're not ruling it out. There's just no evidence right now of who committed a crime or that Sebastian was victim of a crime, though I think a lot of people believe it could have been. Let's see. Let's see. I think Dog the Bounty Hunter, someone says, I wasn't putting it down. If he has a bounty, I just don't know how much it is. I think Dog the Bounty Hunter is legit. And if he puts a reward out there, I think it'll be paid. I've just covered other cases in the past where rewards, a lot of people offer rewards from different places. And when it's finally solved, sometimes it's hard to track down who or where was offering it. But I think the FBI, I think Dog, if this is found, I think the money will come from them. I think they're legit. So I think if Dog is offering, I think that's then pushing it beyond what the FBI is. We know the FBI is offering 50,000, which is a lot of money. This reward's been out there for a long time, 50,000 or more. And you would think if someone had some information that they would come forward for that money. And I mean, that's not a little reward. That's a big chunk of money. That's usually enough to get tips if there are some out there. That's why I'm wondering, no one's come forward. Maybe no one knows anything, because I mean, a lot of people will turn in their own mother for that kind of money.
Would Edgar? Thank you, my dear.
Words. What are we seeing here? I don't.
I'm going to show y'all something.
Yeah, I'm with Amanda. You know, criminal investigation, just investigate wherever it leads. I mean, if you get evidence that proves it's investigation,
hey, Eric, I'm going to email you back.
Call it that. I just want to know that there's evidence of that. And I've been told there's no evidence a crime was committed. Does that mean that one wasn't committed? No, they just haven't found it. Someone could have committed the perfect crime here, or they just haven't found it yet. And I'm in agreement with a lot of people that, you know, it's more than likely maybe something did happen, but you have to have some evidence of that. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, seeing a lot of these. What else? A lot of people not liking some of this info. And, you know, if you don't buy what I'm saying, that's okay. You can get it someplace else. I'm just here to do my best to give you my point of view and what I've been told. Yeah, Cindy is saying, you lying person. You said that it was a criminal investigation not even 6 months ago. If that's the case, if it was in a context, depending on who told us, then it's changed. Maybe there was evidence at that point that did not pan out, and it is now something where it's just called an investigation.
What about December, Nick? Does December ring a bell?
Again, you know, don't get mad at me. I mean, I never said that there was a suspect or someone like this that they had in mind. If they're calling it criminal, that would have meant that they found something that indicated evidence, something physical, some blood, an eyewitness, something on a video somewhere that told them, yes, look, there's someone dragging him into a car. We don't know who it is, but that's evidence that he was taken away. That's a crime. He was kidnapped.
All right, let me just show y'all.
I don't know of anything like that. So perhaps at one point they thought it was, and they've changed it. So, you know, I'm sorry. So many people are dead set that this is criminal. We just have to have evidence of it. And I've been told this weekend, so if the story's changed, I've been told this weekend that from both the DA and the sheriff and other sources that it is simply an investigation and they're ruling nothing out.
Oh,
that's
my
all I can tell you
guys.
as we sit here right now. That's all.
Rewind. How long?
And that's about it. I'm sorry it's freezing. A lot of people saying the same things. You know,
will let me rewind. It won't let me rewind.
Yeah, I'm just looking through here the rest of this. I'm sure, you know, we'll be hearing more in the next week. I think we'll have more that comes down from the sheriff and from investigators. I think maybe they'll issue some kind of statement on tomorrow or Wednesday.
I bet you they will. Hold on, guys. I need to show y'all something. Let me just play this. I'm getting ready to show y'all.
And we'll follow up on that. I promise I'll follow up on it. I'll double check in again. Or someone was saying it is, and now you're saying it's not. What's changed? But
Yeah,
the
please
sheriff
go
and the
ask.
DA have indicated it is an
Please go
investigation
ask,
where we've ruled
Mother
nothing out,
Chicken.
but we're not going to, at least at this time now, call it criminal. That's what I was told yesterday. Okay, so if it was reported differently back several weeks or whatever, the story has changed. Perhaps things change as they go into it. That's all I'm saying. And like I said, people get upset about this, and I'm sorry if you don't like everything I'm telling you. And hey, I could be wrong on some of this.
You are.
I'm just being
You
told
and
and trying
do
to share this
and
information
do
and keep the story out there.
and
Whether we agree
do.
on finding him alive and safe, but one way or the other, getting an answer to this mystery. So
All right.
it's a year later, and I hope something breaks on this case in the not.
Let me just show you a little message in this special. All right, then, mother chickens, let's get it started. How you doing? How you doing? All right, let's take that mother chicken's name off of there. Here we go. Another email. Eric Craddock, Sumner County Sheriff, LA Los Angeles legal team at one. This is from Good morning. Can we set up a conversation to discuss below email and this ongoing criminal investigation? There's that as well. What did Mike? This guy must be working on a known suspect. So there we go with that as well. Thank you, Dog Mama for Life. He seems to like the way behind. He seems like he is way behind on his info. He has really been informed by law enforcement of anything. Has he really been informed by law enforcement of anything? Wow, I love you, Justin. Guys, I really wish I could say, but all I can tell you guys is keep the faith, keep the faith, keep the faith. 1 second, y'all. Just keep the faith. Just keep the faith. Law enforcement might say the same thing in tomorrow or Wednesday. I don't know. But I'm telling you right now that this is a criminal investigation. I know this for my email. And I know that FBI doesn't get involved without it being criminal. Ask a former FBI agent. And also, they don't also offer Amber Alerts. And why would they look in a landfill either? And why would Nick say it as well? He keeps referencing to the DA Ray Whitley while using disparaging tones. Law enforcement, Brandon Carter, etc. I think he's on the DA's errand. Perhaps. I don't know, Trishy. Tennessee is it's a whole different thing. It's a whole different thing when it comes to missing children. No one operates like Tennessee when it comes to missing children. I don't know what it is, but they don't. Arctic Wolf Angel had a good comment. Nick Beres said, quote, for that amount of money, most people would turn in their own mother. Could this be a strategy? I think if this is any strategy whatsoever, and I'm not saying it is, I'm just saying if it is, I think they just want to give potential suspect or suspects. Um, a reason to chill. Other. No, Della, I don't, I, I don't think that they will necessarily do that. They won't clear someone publicly and then later arrest them, if that's what you were referring to. Uh, uh, well, that's the thing. He even stated, Smiley, that they didn't have attorneys. Who is he talking to? Like, who the fuck is he talking to? I mean, okay. So my live today was called "This Says Everything About KK and Edgar's Relationship with Law Enforcement." Okay, let me just show you this. We'll come back to this, but I do want to show you something that aired, I think it was this morning. I'm pretty sure it was this morning. Someone sent it to me early this morning. What is today? Yes, it was this morning. Okay. Why is it not playing there? Give me 2 seconds, y'all. Uh, this just tells you don't believe everything that the media tells you. That's all I can say is bear with me. February 20th. Why is it not sending? Okay. 7:02. Hold on. Bear with me, guys. I got to show y'all this. It came out this morning, and nobody's seen it yet that I'm aware of. Make sure this is it. Nope, that's not it. Okay. Bear with me, guys. I apologize, but I want to. Okay, that's not it. Okay. It's got to be this one. Sorry, it didn't send. I thought it was going to send earlier. All right, here it is. All right. What? MD. Okay, this is. Am I going crazy? Hold on. $31. Okay, it's. Fuck is it? 6 a.m. Send an image. These keep. Okay. WAFF. Sorry, guys. I don't know what the hell. I've got it here. WAFF. Okay. Bear with me. This is weird as fuck. Did they take it down? Did they take it down? Um, yeah, this is so weird, guys. I've been looking for something. I sent it this morning, and it's so weird that I cannot fucking find it. It's very, very weird. Let me. It was updated this morning, and now it's saying 3 days ago. That's what I don't understand. I'm gonna go ahead and play it. This and see if it's the same thing.
That the family of Sebastian Rogers and a private investigator helping them with his cause believe could be significant in the search for this missing 16-year-old. Our Holly Thompson first broke the story at 3 o'clock and asked the private investigator why he believes this is so significant.
The private investigator is helping Katie and Chris Proudfoot search for their son, Sebastian Rogers, who vanished so far without a trace from his home. That was almost a year ago. The family hired Steve Fisher late last year to take on Sebastian's case. Now, Steve says the video they're focused on now could be a break in the case. He says if you look closely, it shows a person in dark clothing in Sebastian's neighborhood right around 12:17 a.m., the night Sebastian disappeared. He says that person appears to hide behind a car when someone walks a dog nearby. Then that person takes off in the opposite direction. I asked Steve how significant this video is, video the public has never seen.
So what we found.
Listen to this. I don't think y'all have heard this.
We went through over 100 hours of surveillance, and it wasn't until the third pass through the surveillance that we even spotted this person. Is this person accounted for? Does law enforcement know who this individual is? Do they even know about this person in the video? And if they do, have they accounted for who that is?
Steve told us the TBI.
Now, let's just cut it right there. Right? Let's think about this for one moment. Have they seen this, and have they accounted for this person? That right there shows you that KK and Edgar are not in touch with law enforcement. Right there. they could easily call them up and get a quick answer. That shows you right there. They are not speaking to law enforcement. They have not spoken to law enforcement, in my opinion, since approximately very late summer, allegedly. I'm not even talking about SF necessarily. I'm talking about Edgar and KK. Well, Holly, this is my opinion. As we know, the Nick Beres video was never supposed to be put out in the first place, and it was leaked. I do not believe anyone has anything pertinent to Sebastian's case in that neighborhood on the night of February 25th and going into the early morning hours of February 26th. No, this is the sister channel to the Tennessee, but this is in Huntsville, Alabama. Or maybe Mississippi.
I also had a copy of this
can't remember.
video. We reached out to them
at them.
asking why they never released it. Now, there is still an active Amber Alert out for Sebastian. Hundreds of hours have been pouring into finding him. Ground searches, drone mapping, the use of scent dogs, and the scouring of surveillance video. So, what's next in the search? I asked Steve that question, and you can see where he says they will soon focus their search in the WSMV4 News app. The family did sit down with me one-on-one. I'll have that full story for you on the day 1 year ago.
KK. Edgar. I'm glad you did an interview after 9 months or so. It's one thing if they were cleared or something, but this, yeah. You know, I mean, this is the thing. After a year, you can't start clearing people. I'm going to wait until Wednesday. Until that speech is done from either TBI or local law enforcement or both. Give them a little bit, a chance. Ginger Snap, thank you so much, my dear. Arctic Wolf had a good okay. I read that one. Thank you, my dear. Jana, thank you so much. Will you sing happy birthday to me? I've been waiting all year. Love you all. Of course, Jana. Happy birthday, my dear. Absolutely. Just remind me, mods, if you don't mind at the end. Of course. Hope you've had a good day, Jana. And Mystery Sky, welcome to the Pearl family. And now I say, Pearl looks amazing on you, darling. Why wait? News station. Exactly. Why wait? Well, the question is, why wait days? Justin KP is doing the interview tomorrow on Fox 17 at 9. Is that when it's going to air? I know it's going to air. I got one. Maybe is that the same thing? Yeah. So, to me, in my opinion, this was the thing with the private investigator and Edgar and KK. This was merely something to say, we're still looking for him. Oh, wait, look, we found this new video of, a man walking his dog or someone walking their dog, or female, I don't know if it's a male or female walking their dog, go to Mob Crew. He does a really good job of explaining that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we know where Seth was. The only person we don't know where they were is Edgar. Edgar. And there's that. But we're going to go over. One second. Let me just try something here. March 4th. Okay. So we're going to go over to what Nick said on March 4th, which I think it's very important to remind this mother chicken what he said. Very I thought it was very interesting how he cut out whenever he was started to answer that.
Maybe something else was going on in his head.
Let me find it.
Autistic. Joe Clyde was 5 years old. His body still nothing at this point, but both missing, both autistic. Of course, Joe Clyde was.
Let me find that.
There's a problem with that. No Ring camera video. I mean, is he that stealthy?
March 4th.
It did get very cold last week later, and that's a concern. They were worried about the weather and the rain. Let's see what else here. A lot of people saying even if the game they're playing is offline, you still have a game tag. And I'm not a gamer, so or gamer tag is what it's called. I guess that's a way to communicate. Thank you for sharing that. Let's see, what else do we have here? A lot of people asking again about the doors and windows.
That's right. I have full faith, Tony, in Sumner County Sheriff's Office. I don't think that they're playing a game. I think there could be something strategic, but I don't think they are playing a game. I don't know what the hell Nick happened to him.
Father said was locked. The windows, I don't know. He didn't say. A lot of circumstances here that have not, no answers to this. Someone said he had a $15,000 scholarship from a school. I have not heard that. That would be awesome if that's true, but I have not heard that. I did see where some businessmen are offering like a $3,000 reward
it's not over
for information that leads to finding him. So there's some money out there with that regard. Let me see what else. By the way, again, a nice thing to do is this and anything else. And I'm glad the parents are finally speaking out because it keeps this case out there. It's just been a week, but if he goes missing another week and another week, the sad fact is it fades away. They'll never stop, but it fades away. Well, I'm not going to let that happen. We'll be doing more updates like this, and I'll continue to post on my page whatever I hear. And I'm lucky that I do have some people close to this investigation that I know that will have to speak to me on background, and others who have handled this type of missing child case to tell me exactly what they know law enforcement textbook wise should be doing.
Hold on. I got a little promo here I want to show you real quick.
Sits down with the mother of missing teenager Sebastian Rogers.
Let's just talk about the last year of your life.
Learn about the search efforts and her experience. No question left on the table.
Do you have a theory in what happened to your son?
Getting answers for you. Tuesday on Fox 7.
Tomorrow.
Your life.
Let me make it very clear that I know a lot of people. I buy the tears. I buy the tears. I'll just tell you. I'll just say that. Do I think KK misses her son? I do. I absolutely I do. But I think she's crying about the situation. The collective situation and all of this has become. That is what I think she's crying about. That's what I think she's crying about. Because I don't think a mother I'll play it again, yeah. The overwhelmingness, yes. I don't think a mother actions speak louder than words. What she does, what she has done the entire year. A mother doesn't stay silent for, I think the last interview she did was May. Someone I was talking to today, and they said those two change looks more than any people I've ever seen in my. I was like,
Tuesday,
here we
Fox
go. Here we go.
17 News sits down with the mother of missing teenager Sebastian Rogers.
Let's just talk about the last year of your life.
Learn about the search efforts and her experience. No question left on the table.
Do you have a theory in what happened to your son?
Apparently, she doesn't have a theory. She's shaking her head no, unless they edited that.
Getting answers for you. Tuesday on Fox 17 News at 9. Tuesday, Fox 17 News sits down with the mother of missing teenager Sebastian Rogers.
Let's just talk about the last year of your life.
Learn about the search efforts and her experience. No question left on the table.
Do you have a theory in what happened to your son?
Getting answers for you. Tuesday.
That's tomorrow. It's going to be a bumpy few days, y'all. So batten down the hatches. She's looking. I really think. Listen, I don't think there is this little. I don't think she's as meek and mild as she portrays herself, if you will. I think she's scared. I do think she's scared. I do think she's scared of what's could be, this is if it's a criminal investigation, you should be out wanting to know who those criminals or criminal is. The first 48 hours the first 72 hours, 48 to 72, it depends, is very important when someone goes missing or any type of investigation. Any type of investigation. Time is of the essence. And you have Edgar within the first 50 hours or so, he's back down to where he came from, leaving her. They're all alone. Then they go down at this trailer camp thing that they're at, not because he's going back to work, because he never went back to work there. He went back to work closer to home. I think you're right, Bogey. I think you're right. Yes. Thank you so much, Ginger, Justin, and the Pearls. This should make us more determined to get justice for Sebastian and bring him home. We do not give up simply based on... Hell no, girl. He is certainly... He's not law enforcement. I'm not law enforcement. No other YouTuber, no other reporter is law enforcement. But I will say I got an email from law enforcement, and it said what it said, and I stand where I stand. Okay, you know what I mean, girl? So that's what I believe. That's what I believe. Yeah. Thank you so much, Ginger. Thank you so much, Summers Army. Good to see you, love. Good evening, Justin Mod Chat. Good evening, my darlings. Good to see you. She, you know, I'll just say this. I think it is a lot. It's very hard to keep the fuck. How that
I flirt.
It's very hard to keep something in as difficult as if you know something, and it would be very difficult to keep it in a regular case, but then add on literally a national story. And the saying goes, secrets make you sick. If you've watched any sort of interrogations, you guys know I've taken all kinds of profiling, statement analysis classes. I've got more to tell you on that later. I'm working on something right now, but I'll have to tell you guys later on that. But you will know that any sort of criminal, if there is guilt of a party, whenever they admit it, whoever did anything, doesn't matter. After they confess it, it is literally like a house coming off of your shoulders. It's, you know, you've got to confess your sins if you've sinned, right? Which we all have and all need to. But you know, look here, this is obviously her now, and this is her. Let me see here. Just less than a year ago. You know what I mean? Thank you, Lady the Roses. Good to see you, love. Welcome, my dear. Thank you so much. She looks more like her mom every day. Well, you know, after seeing her, or after knowing about she taking Sebastian around her mother, damn, that did it. After what happened in the house before, damn, that's all I can say. Chris won't take a polygraph. Why? He says he has. I don't believe him personally. You have every right to have your own opinion on that, obviously, but I don't believe he has. That's just my opinion because Jen, I know they do. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, girl, you need to powder those eyebrows, baby. Boo boo, you got to powder those eyebrows, honey, babies. Oh Lord. But anyhow, it's yes, Hayes, it does. Rosacea really is a very irritating thing, right? It's a very irritating. I am behooved, Tiffany says. Okay, let's get back to this Nick Beres thing. Because listen, this is a criminal investigation. He's so odd to me because he was the one to put out the video, the flashlight video, and he kept nailing reporters and questioning them. And we know that he spoke to the fucking neighbors, y'all. He knows. You know what? I just thought of this. Maybe he didn't speak to the neighbors. I know he's been out there, but I was the one that told you that the neighbor that had the flashlight videos, she gave it to her friend just so they could look and be like, what the hell is this? So they could talk about it, because there was someone literally outside of her in the road outside of her house, and that's creepy, right? And so she sent it to her, and that's when she said, don't send this to anybody. Law enforcement came and got it, but then her friend sent the clip in to Nick Beres, and I don't guess they're allegedly friends anymore. So I don't know if Nick has ever spoke to the guys there on the corner or not. I do know that Nick has been out there, though, out in the neighborhood, doing an interview, answering to questions while you're live. The truth is in your head is pure evil. Yes, Sharon, you're right. Yeah, please pray. Please pray for Seth, y'all. Blessed Mama, thank you so much for 2 months. I think she's crying because she knows her days are numbered, in my opinion. I think KK, there's a lot of stories out there, right? There's a lot of stories out there. If you've really dug into this over the last year, some of the people that I've spoken to, and I'm sure other YouTubers have spoken to, KK was a little wild, which I think, but it's when you're a mother, those things have gotta change, right? That's exactly right, Trishy. So many let him down. And Sebastian is the type of kid that was begging. Oh God, it's gonna make me cry. For people to listen to him. Very, very sad. The red areas on her face are not rosacea. That's from excessive alcohol. Well, I mean, so here's a little reason why I actually started wearing makeup was because of rosacea. And so, there's different things can irritate rosacea. Alcohol will irritate your rosacea if you don't treat it as well, it's gonna do it as well. But Carol, don't. They never shut down the flashlight video like they did. Oh, hell no. No, they don't. They're not going to. They're not going to. Tell you why. Because the flashlight video is crucial. It's crucial. Blood pressure? Yes. Blood pressure, for sure.
Doing at this
All
point.
right. Listen,
And that's exactly what they're doing, the right thing. Shifting now from all-out searching to looking into the possibility of foul play. I hope that's not the case. If it's foul play, then that's a big problem. You really worry about whether or not he's still alive. What are the chances after a week? I think there's still, as we sit here, no reason to believe he's not alive. He could very well still be alive right now. But the more time passes, the more this becomes a concern. And to learn what happens to him, whether he's alive or dead, either finding him alive, obviously, then you can discover what happened.
I want you to hear Nick.
If he's not alive and you never recover his body, we'll never know. And I guess we know because Joe Clyde Daniels' father confessed, but they still to this day have never found Joe Clyde Daniels' body. People have a relationship with his son and would often see him, and he lives up in the Clarksville area, but works here in Davidson County. And what I've been told is he has now taken a leave of absence to be there seeing something. Someone who sees something and reports it, whether it's a ring camera. Law enforcement has said time and again that any little detail, and especially when you're looking at those cameras, and now, like I said, they're saying, please look back through the earlier parts of the day on that Sunday. They weren't specific about what they want you to look for, but if you see anything, I suppose, unusual or anything involving any of the parties here, report it.
Any of the parties here. That's interesting. Yes, it does, Trishy. Yep, sure does. Can make you really sick though, as well. That's another thing. Edgar, who again claims that he has nothing to do with this, that he was in Memphis area and Mississippi area, northern Mississippi. We don't even know where the hell he was. Now, he claims he was 3.5 hours away when Sebastian went missing. But he has never showed that to the public. He won't even speak about Sunday afternoon. Remember, and Nick is talking about this. Sunday afternoon, law enforcement said, check your cameras. They didn't say what for, but we know it can't be. Sebastian was fine Sunday afternoon. Fine. So he was with KK the entire time. But he won't talk about it. He won't talk about that. He won't talk about from approximately the 5th of February, quote, up until the morning Sebastian went missing. I mean, for someone who claims to have Life 360 and his entire family, he says, he will not show that. Very simple. You know, if he, wants to clear his name, like he says, quote, when we bring the proof, that would be a very good way to do it. That would be a very good way to do it, right? Old Magnolia Pearl, thank you so much, my dear. That is very generous of you. gifting 10 memberships, my dear. Thank you so very much. Really do appreciate that. If you receive that, make sure you thank our sweet old Magnolia Pearl. Thank you so much, my dear. Very, very, very generous of you, my dear. Much love to you. And thank you, Momming It Up. Thank you so much. Prayers for justice for Sebastian. Thank you, Momming It Up. All the blessings to you, my friend. Momming It Up has been through so much as well. Blessings to you, my friend. Judy, thank you so much. Welcome back to the Pearl family. Really do appreciate you, my dear. Welcome back, Judy. And thank you, Kathy, so very, very much. I don't know who I trust the least. That's it, but both have no credibility. Yeah, I agree. I agree. But this is the thing. It's weird. This is a very weird case. I thought Summer Wells' case was bizarre and weird. This one takes the cake. I never thought I would say that, but it does. It does. It definitely takes the cake. For sure, for sure.
They say anything that you see could be small.
He's getting ready to say, I'm here to tell
Let's
you
see
this is
here.
a criminal investigation.
Who is saying your comment? I don't know if she's commenting to me. Oh, talking to someone else. Your comment about, I don't know if someone's slamming a step parent. It wasn't me. Highly offensive to millions of them. Listen, step parents, to me, are parents. They step in and they love those children as much as anyone. To say otherwise is not fair. So, yeah, I don't want anyone being critical of this. Well, he's a step parent, so he must have done something. That's not fair. And by the way, I've seen more than my share of stories where biological parents do horrible things to their kids. It has nothing to do with whether you're a step parent or a biological parent. It has to do with whether or not you're a crumb bum.
Nick covered Summer Wells'
someone who would hurt a child. Let's see. Looking through the questions here. A lot of people watching. Yeah, they said the stepdad said he was very strict and allowed no social media in the house. Because a lot of the questions are, who do you think he could have had contact with that would have lured him out? And they said they're at a loss. I mean, they're befuddled as anyone else, as they say. We don't know who he had contact with or why.
I mean, I don't believe Sebastian is anywhere in any type of school or any type of institution or anything like that. I think if he would be out anywhere, it would be with someone that knows Edgar and KK, and it would have to be someone extremely, extremely close to them to be willing to literally risk your freedom and your life for a national story. That it would have to be someone extremely, extremely close. So, I just, when it comes to if he's institutionalized or anything like that, there is so many things wrong with that, that it's just not, it's not feasible. It's really just not. First of all, they're going to know if you went there, to, they're even going to trace back Katie, Chris, Seth, even, days, weeks, months prior, perhaps, to Sebastian going missing, if they thought he was in some institution of some sort, right? No, Barb, like a mission trip that requires a passport, right? No. Now with the IDs and the passports and stuff, they know you're on a plane instantaneously. So you have to make payments. It just doesn't make sense to send a child and pay thousands and thousands of dollars a month whenever your ex-husband was going to take Sebastian. There has to be someone there would have to be someone paying this money. Edgar and KK would have to transfer money to someone. Of course, they've looked. You can guarantee that they've looked where their money has gone. It's almost 0% that he's in an institution of any kind, in my opinion. Why does she avoid eye contact? Well, there's, it's pretty simple, really, why people avoid eye contact, right? Eyes are the windows to the soul, right? And you can tell, the emotion someone is giving just from their eyes. Even, like your dog, if you're like, don't do that or whatever, they won't even, they don't even like to give you eye contact. It shows so much. It shows so much. Katie also shared emails to other creators about possibly the placement elsewhere. Would it make sense at all? Yeah. He's just not at a place like that. He's just not.
Why he would have left like that. And again, a lot of people saying they still have questions for the stepfather. That's fine. Have questions, but do not convict them. And I guarantee you, law enforcement has them and are questioning them, and they're cooperating. But here's the thing. Another part of this, why it's important to take this step by step. Whenever there's a missing child case like this and time continues to pass, there's an enormous amount of pressure on law enforcement and the responders out there looking for the child. They want so desperately to find him. Every passing day, they know the chances get more slim that the child will still be alive. And they want something, anything to break and open up the case. And so there is a ton of pressure right now on law enforcement. So they're not messing around. I mean, if they think they have something, and I'll tell you this, the moment they think they have a suspect, okay, whoever it may be, they're going to call them out if they can. And they're going to put pressure on them, and they're going to start questioning them, And if more than one person is involved in this case, and they arrest a couple people for this, they're going to interview them separately. You know what they're going to do? They're going to tell them, look, we got you. We know you both were involved, or you all three were involved, or you all four were involved, whoever it may be, some strangers that grabbed the boy on the road. And they're going to say, we have a district attorney.
I do think that there will be an arrest. I absolutely think there will be an arrest. I hope that they find him, because that is going to be easier for prosecutors either way, right? It's going to be easier. But I do believe charges will come to whoever did this to Sebastian, this criminal
in this county, Ray Whitley, that doesn't look kindly upon anyone that would hurt a child. We can tell you right now that if you're convicted, you're going to get the death penalty. All right? So one of you is going to have to flip on the other. Whoever flips gets the deal first, and the other one dies. That's what it's going to be. That's the way it's going to play out if it turns out there's more than one person involved. That's the way they'll play it.
Well, someone just said, Tori said that's the holdup. They can't find him. That could very well be, Tori. However, they could potentially convict, and Tennessee has, whoever did this without a body if they can prove that there would be no life in that case. And they could start out on lesser charges, right? They could start out on lesser charges. And then later on they could charge for unaliving, if they would prove that he wasn't no longer here. But that's something prosecutors and authorities only know, right? But it is discouraging that Nick is saying this, because Nick has spoken to people privately at vigils and has allegedly told, I believe even one of my mods, that this was criminal, allegedly. Right, Nick? Thank you so much, Stacy. Really do appreciate you, my dear. Very much. Thank you, my dear. Step parents, 16% higher rate to commit. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, Yova. I have spoken on this till the cows come home. Most of the cases that I've covered have, when there is these children that vanish, ends up being either a step parent or a boyfriend or a girlfriend.
If that happens, if it's just one person, they can even put the pressure on them there. But trust me, this is a capital offense. You kill a child, death penalty's on the table. I know Ray Whitley personally, and I can almost guarantee you he would seek the death penalty in this case if someone is arrested, prosecuted, and convicted of killing him. And let's not get ahead of ourselves. No one is saying Sebastian Rogers is dead, okay? Let's just step that back. But that's the way these things play. Hopefully he's out there alive and well. Let's see, what else do we have? A lot of you have paid close attention. There's certain things here I'm not in a position to answer for you. I wish I could. And a lot of questions there just isn't an answer for. We just don't know. Kind of looking through this along the lines of a lot of just thoughts.
I agree with you, Joe. I don't believe this will be a death penalty case unless they would have, especially without
Thoughts and prayers.
a body. If
I appreciate, and we all feel the same way.
No way.
Yeah, they can look at phone records. They can ping phones. They can see where people are. You know what? I forget the name of the program, but there's something that's in, as far as I know, at least in Middle Tennessee, only 2 sheriff's departments have it, Putnam County and Williamson County. I mean, that would be wonderful. It's something I think I'm going to do a story on, and I think it's free of charge. You go to these places, you register, you can get that. So saying, is there a dispute or legal battle out of, I believe, either Colorado or New Mexico with an ex-wife and a daughter, and there's a custody battle over this child. So there is a daughter.
He's talking about Edgar and Nina here.
Daughter who was not there and is with the mom somewhere, but my understanding has visited, knew Sebastian, would visit her father, Chris, and then Chris, she kind of went between the father and mother. So there's that. And there's a lot flying around there about what kind of details about why is there a dispute? Why does he have custody? Not fair to judge that. I don't know the details of it. Millions of people around the country have custody issues with their exes over children. And I don't know that that's germane to what's happened to Sebastian at all. But that's been brought up, and the stepfather did bring that up. Let me see, a couple questions here coming in.
I think it's coming up right here, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Becky's making a good point here, saying something about how did the mom or who is it that knew that he went out on the road, or was that an assumption? If she went to bed that night thinking and knowing he was in bed, and she gets up the next morning, goes to the bedroom, finds he's not there, runs around and starts looking for him, the report is that he went out through the front door, a locked front door, and into the yard. I'm guessing that's the assumption, right? Because she was asleep. She wasn't there when he left. She didn't see him leave, obviously. How do we know that? How do we even know that he went out the front door and went down the road? I guess that's a fair question. I think that's.
Remember, FBI just made a change on their poster. Sebastian last seen February 25th. That is a little thing that makes a huge difference. Huge difference. Right? Not last seen on February 26th. February 25th. Big
kind of the narrative, one way or the other. We understand he left the house, and maybe we think he went through the front door. But I guess when you think about it, we don't know that. The only people in the house that night were the mother, Katie, and Sebastian. Chris, as we've heard, was not home at least until maybe the next day. I don't know. I don't have all the details on his time, but he was not there. She called him the next morning to say that Sebastian wasn't there, and they reported it. So I guess we don't really know. That's a good question. How do we know he went out the front door? How do we know he ended up in the road? Maybe that's just being assumed. That's a great question. See, that's where you kind of get ahead of yourself, and all of a sudden you're like,
No, Mama,
good question,
he's
Becky.
a local reporter.
Let's see, what else do we have here? I'm going to think about that one. That's, yeah. Again, so much of this, I would love to be able to ask more.
Nick has been at the news station since 1996.
Questions of law enforcement, but they've pretty much not taken them. And I respect that to a point, okay? I understand that there are certain parts of the investigation that definitely have to remain confidential so as not to jeopardize, any effort to find the boy. I understand that. But I also think answering some questions and providing more information to the public is important, not only to keep it current, but to maybe put information out there that can help people think about this and move forward with it. But they've been very, very stingy with details other than just to talk about the search effort, which we all can see for ourselves, which, by the way, terrific. Well done, professional, by the book. And if he was out there, they would have found him. Period. They've done a great job. And that's why, in the absence of finding him, they're considering this foul play. He had to be taken from the area or they would have found him. They would have found him. We all can see for ourselves, which, by the way, terrific. Well done, professional, by the book. And if he was out there, they would have found him. Period. They've done a great job.
Period.
And that's why, in the absence of finding him, they're considering this foul play. He had to be taken from the area or they would have found him, unless he somehow accidentally locked himself in someone's shed that they haven't checked, or he fell down a ravine into a cave that no one knows about. Barring something bizarre like that, someone had to have taken him from the area. I mean, that's the natural. Law enforcement has not said that. Law enforcement has not even said foul play. Law enforcement publicly has said, we're shifting, we're still searching, but we're shifting to an investigation. Just that. All right. My sources tell me this is now a criminal investigation. They haven't given up the chance of him being out there on his own and finding him. They're going to keep looking. But yeah, they say investigation. I'll tell you, it's a criminal investigation now. It's criminal.
There you go, folks. There you go. March 4th, 2024, Mr. Beres. March 4th, 2024. We're going to replay that little. His sources. Well, my source per email Detective Ray Whitley.
Let's see what else. And there's one that
Says
no considering this
criminal.
foul play. The book just to talk current, but to maybe put information out there that can help people think about this and move forward with it. But they've been very, very stingy with details other than just to talk about the search effort, which we all can see for ourselves, which, by the way, terrific. Well done, professional, by the book. And if he was out there, they would have found him. Period. They've done a great job. And that's why, in the absence of finding him, they're considering this foul play. He had to be taken from the area or they would have found him, unless he somehow accidentally locked himself in someone's shed that they haven't checked, or he fell down a ravine into a cave that no one knows about. Barring something bizarre like that, someone had to have taken him from the area. I mean, that's the natural. Law enforcement has not said that. Law enforcement has not even said foul play. Law enforcement publicly has said, we're shifting, we're still searching, but we're shifting to an investigation. Just that. All right, my sources tell me this is now a criminal investigation. They haven't given up the chance of him being out there on his own and finding him. They're going to keep looking. But yeah, they say investigation. I'll tell you, it's a criminal investigation now. It's criminal. Let's see, what else do we have here?
Survey says
Criminal.
criminal investigation. There you go. That was March 4th. That was March 4th, 2024. That is almost a year ago. That is untypical media. Jazz, exactly right. And this is why, and let me make it clear. The messaging by law enforcement, this is where I am going to be a little bit critical of law enforcement, is they have not kept the same messaging. They have not. Like we're wondering for months. TBI, and local law enforcement says last seen February 25th, or February 26th, rather. And now it shifted. Well, before that, TBI and local law enforcement said February 26th last seen. But they also said he has not been seen on camera. He has no confirmed sightings, no scent, no nothing. So how could he have been seen? Well, now they changed it to February 25th. However, even when they were saying February 26th, NamUs, which is the national database that only law enforcement can plug the information in to that database, it said last seen February 25th around 10 p.m. Jacqueline, trust me, I know a lot of people are really upset about this, but let me tell you, don't be more upset than if a YouTuber was telling you something. Trust me, I'm just saying. I am sure Ray Whitley is not going to say in an email that this is a criminal investigation and it not be a criminal investigation. I'm sure Nick, on March 4th, 2024, if he did not know it was a criminal investigation, he would not say it's a criminal investigation. Now, sometimes people walk things back if they perhaps get in trouble, got smacked on the hand by law enforcement. They have to work with law enforcement quite a bit for a lot of different cases. And your sources are your sources. And I'm sure that there's a thing called off the cuff, right? Off the record. And whether, it's true, law enforcement will speak to reporters off the cuff. No recordings, anything like that in person. Come over here, I'll tell you, but you can't say where the source came from. It's just life. It's what happens. But I think when he put that video out, they weren't happy about it, in just my opinion. Do you know KK has an attorney. She has an attorney. Um, I don't know if you missed it. Well, my live today is called "This Says Everything About KK and Edgar's Relationship with Law Enforcement." So, with the PI and Holly Thompson and all of them, the PI says, I wonder if law enforcement has looked this over, if they have noticed this or whatever. Well, if you or the parents had been in conversation and had been speaking to law enforcement, you would know if they had seen that video, because they would have told you yes or no. Yes, we have seen this. No, we haven't seen this. So that shows us right there that they are not speaking to law enforcement. In fact, Edgar, uh, his most recent rant when he was triggered about "don't talk about my truck," he speaks. Uh, he used to speak very uh, flowery, if for related to law enforcement. Now he says, well, I can say that all three of us parents have a relationship with law enforcement. Some of it's good, some of it's bad. Well, we know Seth has an amazing relationship with law enforcement. He literally speaks to them every day, if not every other day. So we know that. We obviously know that you guys did not take this to law enforcement, because they would have told you, okay, well, we'll look, yeah, or yeah, we've seen this. No, we didn't. So it just shows us that there is no no relationship. Um in my opinion, it wouldn't surprise me if KK or Edgar or both, their attorneys weren't there during the interviews. It wouldn't surprise me. So I'll just say that. There is no way a mother doesn't speak out for her child. That is just not the way it works. It's not the way it works. Uh, yeah, I mean, you know, uh, going back to FBI, they do not offer a reward just because a child is missing, they would be offering. There's a lot of okay, sense. Thank you. There's a lot of people and children who go missing every day. That doesn't mean they offer a reward for every person, because most people who go missing, it's not criminal, right? They only deal with criminal. Also, um, the landfill. You have to have a probable cause. Tell me how a boy, a 15-year-old young man, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, who walks out the door and suddenly they look in a landfill that is an hour and a half or 2 hours away. For what? For what? They didn't look in Seth's, where his trash goes. They're not looking for around the landfills for there. It's just not the way, you know, that is criminal. You can bet if they're looking in a landfill, it's criminal. They had to have a probable cause for off police law enforcement to go to the judge and says, this is what we have. We have reasonable belief based upon A, B, C, and D that someone or something put someone or something in the trash, and it would be in this landfill. So there's that as well. When is the last time Craddock spoke to the media? He spoke recently, Mohawk, when he said, I think he did an interview with Nick Beres. He stated that they do have things related to the case, but there's just things that cannot be shared. I believe if it was old clip Nick used. No, they did mix, but he did say that they do have stuff, but they can't share. It was, and they mixed it with some old footage, I believe, as well. But there's that. Okay. Oh, really? Uh, okay. Someone just sent me the TBI post for August and said he was almost reading word for word the TBI post from August. Do you mean Nick? Um, said it is a. No, I have a question. How did. That's interesting, Smiley. Okay. 270 days between her last interview and these. Okay. Dog, the bounty hunter, he has increased the reward to $347,000. Yeah. Okay. Like, sense of soul, does it start out like at the beginning? Is that how he starts it out? We'll go back and watch that part. Let me find it here. Let's see if we can find it here. Nick Beres posts so much. Okay. Let's see what he says here. Let's see if he reads it like the TBI poster.
Good evening, everyone. This is Nick Beres coming to you Facebook Live. We're coming to you on a Monday night, and this is on the Sebastian Rogers case. We're doing this because this week is 1 year since the 15-year-old boy with autism disappeared from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee. So it's
Okay, so it's starting out just like the TBI. Yep.
been 1 year, and I know so many people have followed this case from frankly, all around the country. I mean, it's gone everywhere. A lot of people have been involved. So many of us care and think about this boy and want answers and want to know what the very latest is. Sebastian disappeared this week, but specifically, it was Sunday night to Monday morning, and that would have been February 25th or February 26th. That is, the 26th will be this Wednesday. But I'm doing this now because it was coming off a weekend from a Sunday night to Monday morning when he disappeared overnight, thought to have left barefoot and with a flashlight, and then was reported missing by his mother, who he was with that night at that home. And since then, not a trace. And so what I wanted to try to do here is just give you the latest of what I know about the case. There are a lot of rumors, a lot of scenarios out there on social media, which is fine because it keeps his name out there. But what I'm dealing with here is basically what I know to be factual, what I know, not my assumptions, not what I think, but more along the lines of what I've been told from those who are very close to the investigation. So who am I getting this information from that I'm going to be sharing with you the basics today? The information I'm getting from where I have had direct contact within just the past week, checking back
Bingo, Mohawk.
in with them, is Eric Craddock, who is the sheriff of Sumner County, okay, who from the beginning has headed up this investigation there in Sumner County. He was not the sheriff at the time that this happened, but has since become the sheriff. He heads it up. So Eric Craddock, spoken with him directly. All right. Ken Widener, who's the director of Sumner County EMA. He's not so much as an investigator, but he's in charge of every time a tip comes in of going out and searching and tracking down to see if there's anything to it. They respond. They're the emergency crews that go out and respond to that. And then I've also talked and had close contact with the man who would be involved if this ever becomes criminal, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But that is the district attorney, Ray Whitley, who stays very close contact with investigators, including, I'll mention who else I've been in contact with, some sources within the TBI who are involved in this case. But Ray Whitley is the district attorney. He meets and talks weekly with investigators, standing by, wants to know what's going on, what the latest is with all of that. That's where my information is coming from. Of course, I talked to some other people close to the case, people in the neighborhood, people like this who have been at candlelight vigils, the like. At one time or another, I've had contact with Sebastian's parents, but have not had any contact with them recently.
Nick. Yes, Nick. What did you speak to the? I need to change that banner. To people at the vigils. What did you say about to them? If my mod is in here that wants to say what they told them, You're welcome to say that. If you don't, no pressure.
Certainly done a lot of interviews over the past year, not only on TV, but on social media. So you've heard from them as well. So that's where I'm coming from. And I know there may be some people out there that say, well, Nick, we just don't
What are you talking about,
believe in law
Catherine?
enforcement. We're not going to put our stake in law enforcement. Where's the FBI? Well, the FBI is involved to a degree that they are behind a $50,000 reward for Sebastian. I'm just looking for the latest on that. They're asking for tips to be sent.
Do you think that they would speak on a do you think that they would keep a detective on a case for a year and that is all that they do? For a year is just that one case? Like, that takes a lot of time and resources, right? And pay him the whole time. Exactly. Seth told us that the detective meets with the DA weekly. Yes. Yeah, Michelle. Yeah. Why don't you? Is what's three? Why are y'all talking about 347? What's 347? I don't know what y'all are talking about.
To them, but also specifically to 1-800-TBI-FIND. But look, there are people that say, well, we don't have faith in law enforcement to continue this investigation. They haven't broken it after a year. Look, if you've followed missing children cases in the past, and I've covered sadly enough of them, these are not easy cases to solve. And I've followed many investigations in my career. And frankly, there have been some over the years that I felt they kind of dropped the ball on this. They haven't done everything they could do. As far as I can tell, and no one's telling me to do this, I have no stake in this except I want Sebastian found safe and sound. As
Oh,
far as I can tell,
347.
law enforcement from the very beginning, with the search and everything else, did this textbook and used every resource that they possibly could, and they continue to do so. So if there's people out there say, well, I want to go with these, I think Dog the Bounty Hunter and others are involved. Hey, good for them. I'm glad they're involved. They're not here. They haven't been on this from the very beginning. They haven't seen all that's been done. I think the more people involved, the better. But I'm not here to slam anyone. And I'm certainly not here to say, well, I don't buy law enforcement. I'm just going to go along with some guy says on social media. It's not the way to do it. And I think that's born out of frustration that we're all feeling right now. And we wish it could be solved. Let me tell you this. No one is more frustrated and disturbed by the situation with Sebastian, aside from his family, of course, than law enforcement. They desperately want this solved. And I can tell you right now, District Attorney Ray Whitley would love it if this case turned criminal and that there was a suspect brought before them. He would be ready to prosecute and go after them immediately. But that gets to this other point about some of the things that I wanted
Anyone
to
wants
hit
to
on.
call in, you're welcome to call in.
That is new. And then I'm going to look at your comments and try to answer what I can. Okay. But look, I've talked to them. This is not a criminal investigation. Okay. And a lot of you are going to say, well, a $50,000 reward from the FBI and it's not a criminal investigation. Let me just explain what that means. And I've talked with not only the DA, but the police chief, or rather the sheriff, this past week and asked them specifically. Again, people are wondering, is this a criminal investigation now? And they say, no, Nick, what this is an investigation. We're looking into it and looking for any possibility. That does not mean we're ruling.
Okay. If you can't say, if law enforcement, we obviously know it's a criminal investigation. I have the fucking email. Nick was on Channel 5 News 2 hours ago. What's your point? Which Nick? This Nick? What do you mean? We'll go to News Channel 5. I don't know what you mean by that. News Channel 5. Phone lines are open if anybody wants to call in and talk. Sebastian Rogers. Here we go. The mystery of what happened to Sebastian Rogers. Oh, I have not seen this. One second as we wait for this commercial. See what the doofus says. Oh, there's just going to be an arrest one day. What? Where's I would like to have my volume buttons, mother chicken. Hold on. Where's my damn volume button? I don't know why it says that. I have to just do it like this, so it doesn't get my channel. Okay, here we go.
Sebastian Rogers would
I
now
wanna make
be 16. It
Where's
was
the-
1 year ago. He vanished from his
Trying to make it
Hendersonville
bigger.
home late Sunday night or early Monday morning. There was a massive search effort in the first several days after the teen with autism disappeared.
This is the system that we use to track all of our searchers.
In the 12 months since, Sumner County EMA Director Ken Widener has led searches from the ground and air. Divers went to ponds. Spelunkers explored sinkholes.
The white dots are caved and they've all been searched.
Whenever a new tip surfaces, Widener sends a crew to search. But he says those leads have slowed to a trickle. And the sad fact remains, to date, no trace of Sebastian has been found. As such, speculation runs wild from less than credible sources.
The rumor mill on social media has done nothing to advance this case.
Authorities have made it clear they'll provide an update when there is something new to report. But this one-year milestone might be a good time to clear some things up. This week, I did speak exclusively to Sumner County Sheriff Eric Craddock and District Attorney Ray Whitley about the case. Now, some are wondering whether or not this is now a criminal investigation. They tell me the answer to that is no. It is simply an investigation.
You are so
Others
full
are
of
asking the
shit.
question still, is it possible that Sebastian's parents, his mother, stepfather, and biological father, may have had something to do with his disappearance? Again, the answer to that, no evidence of that, and that the parents have cooperated. Any evidence of foul play?
We have not cleared anyone, but we have absolutely no evidence to support foul play.
After a year missing, some wonder, is this now a cold case? The answer, no. It does remain very active. Sebastian's father, Seth, said this in the days after his son disappeared, and the same holds true today.
I'm hoping he's still alive. You know, that's my main hope right now, is that he's not deceased. I mean, I keep praying that he's alive. I keep praying that somebody's going to see him, that somebody's going to call 911.
Nick Beres, News Channel 5.
Okay, guys. All right, we have a caller on the line. Thank you so much, Gypsy. I'll get to that in just a second. What's up, caller?
Oh, sure. Thank you for letting me talk to you. I'm just so confused. You know, it's just such a sad case that the family's going through so much, and you know, we don't know what he's going through, and it's just really sad. I hope somebody will get some news.
It's hard to hear you. You it's like you got static or something when you talk. I don't know if you're
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe is this better?
a little bit. Yeah. We'll try it.
Okay. I was just saying how sad it is. This case is just very sad. You know, the parents don't have any conclusion. We don't know where he is or what he's doing. And it's just so sad.
Yeah. It is a very sad case, and there's just a lot of different sources coming out. Hey, hun, Tony's calling in, so I need to answer this, okay?
Okay,
Call, call back. Okay, honey, thank you.
Call from Tony Mattis.
Hello, Tony.
Going on, brother?
How you doing?
I've had better days.
Right, right. What's up? What do you think
All right,
about
so,
what's going on here?
well, I think Nick Beres is an idiot. I'll let that be on recording.
Yeah.
I think that you know, there's multiple characters in this case that make contradicting statements over and over and over again, and Nick Beres is one of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, for Seth, I have to be very, very careful what I say. We have an incredible relationship with Sumner County,
Right.
and I can tell you that what was told to Nick Beres is nothing like what he reported. There is a very standard answer that is given by all of the guys involved. We've been on the phone with all of them today. And the standard answer they give to reporters, especially Nick Beres, is this is an open and ongoing investigation. That's all we can tell.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing more than that. They're not going to elaborate in any way, shape, or form. They're not going to give specifics of the case. They have a very open line of communication with Mr. Rogers, and they don't even give Mr. Rogers specifics. As well they shouldn't.
Right. Sure.
So you guys need to know that this is not Sumner County playing games. This is not them strategizing. This isn't any of that stuff. This is Nick Beres misleading the public. He's done it over and over and over again. And usually in a case like this, you'll have major media outlets, meaning, you know, the big four, ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox. And depending on the parents' personalities or what side of the aisle the parents are on in the case, they'll generally pick somebody that they want to do news stories with. For instance, our news outlet of choice is Channel 2, Caitlin Quisenberry.
Right.
We've also done some stuff with Fox 17. So you saw Katie/Chris recently do an interview with Channel 4 and Channel 17.
Mm-hmm.
If you notice, nobody talks to Nick Beres. Not Seth, not Chris and Katie, not anybody.
Mm.
So he's been all over the place since the first few weeks in the case. He's been all over the place, and he's been all over the place to the extent that neither side of the family talks to him.
Yeah.
So
that's
you
interesting.
don't even have enough credibility. You got two sides of the family that are
on opposite sides, but neither one of them. I mean, both sides have been very critical of Nick.
Correct.
Both sides. That's one thing. That's one thing that both sides can agree on. Yeah, yeah, that's one thing that both sides can agree on. Yeah, that's true. Got me there.
Yeah. Maybe the only thing they can agree on.
Right.
Yeah. So, but I'm going to keep it short and sweet tonight. I just wanted your audience to rest assured, knowing that Sumner County is not playing games, that this is a simple case of Nick misleading the audience. You know, for him to act like he doesn't remember saying it was a criminal investigation. There's been multiple members of the public that have gotten emails that this is a criminal investigation. And, you know, you can't, those things are in writing. You know, in the world you live in, everybody wants to see receipts.
Yes.
So let's see Nick Beres' receipts that he was told in this baloney.
Yeah, well, people said that I've made these receipts up. There is no way in God's green earth that I would make up a receipt with and put a investigator name and where he works and any of that. I mean, you are nuts if you would think I would do that would get you in a lot of trouble.
Well, and I'm very literal. So when I say that we speak to law enforcement almost daily, I can tell you that we say almost daily because there may be a day now and again that we go by, without talking to them.
Right, right.
But I can tell you that we talk to them enough to know that this is baloney, and I can't get too much deeper.
Right, right. I don't want you to. I don't want you to or anything. I just, I'm glad that, I just feel like law enforcement has been very strategic. I think Mr. E made a great point I think it was last night, the 6-month anniversary. Law enforcement did the reward. On Sebastian's birthday, they started speaking with Seth, and I think that
you
they,
remember Betty was getting ready to do a protest, right?
yes,
And we were setting up for the protest, and 30 minutes before the protest happened, they announced a $50,000 reward.
oh wow,
So, we were cheering about the reward at the protest out in front of Sumner County Sheriff's Office. And I mean, it was a great thing, right? And the protest was a peaceful protest, but any smart law enforcement agency likes to control the narrative on big dates. And it's a very smart strategic PR move. And they have been very big on dates. Now, is this date that's coming up going to be the date? No, I can't say that, but
well, nobody can.
I can tell you, no, but I can tell you that these guys are working tirelessly to get this solved. Those that think that, that there's just no evidence, you'd be sadly mistaken to assume that. And, again, they're doing a bang up job. We support them.
We absolutely do. Absolutely.
And, we need to continue to support them. If you want to, yeah, exactly, Josh, they're not public information officer. Nick Beres isn't, but, we need to have peace knowing that they're not playing games with child here. They're not gonna send Nick Beres out there with some baloney to mislead the public.
Yeah.
This is a child.
And, I'll be honest with you. I don't know about you, but I feel since, and this is nothing shady or anything toward the sheriff who passed or anything, but I feel like since Eric is in as a sheriff now, I feel like there's been a little bit more transparency and a little more vigor. I don't know. It could be just me, but I feel.
Let's just take Eric Craddock out of this. Let's just say any sheriff in any county that comes in under these circumstances, and the first big meal on his plate is a national missing child's case. That is going to define his career as a sheriff. He knows that, and anybody with any kind of logic knows that.
Yeah.
So the only thing that I said, or the only thing that Nick Beres said that I actually agree with, is that outside of the family, nobody wants to get this solved any more than law enforcement does.
Absolutely.
Right up to Craddock.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a big thing that was landed right on his lap, when he became sheriff. You know what I mean? So it's a monumental case,
And I don't know that Seth is watching this right now. I know that some of our team members are, but I'm not going to stay on. I'm going to let you go. But I would ask your chat to do one thing before I get off. If you trust Big Bird from Sesame Street more than you trust Nick Beres, then light that chat up with green hearts.
I will certainly put some green hearts in there because I trust Sesame Street more than I do Nick Beres. Absolutely.
Appreciate you, brother. If you need anything, let me know. I'm here for you and your audience.
All right. Thank you, my man. Appreciate you.
Have a good night.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, Smiley, you want to call? Yeah, Luna, you couldn't rewind. Boy, it's lighting up now. Lighting up now, isn't it? Bunch of green hearts. Smiley, you want to call in? Go ahead. You missed. There we go. Okay. Hello, Smiley.
Hey, Justin, how are you doing?
Good. How are you, dear?
Oh, I'm frustrated as usual. You're the calm one. Listen to me.
I got
Nick
you.
Beres has went totally nuts.
Yeah.
He is right now the biggest distraction there is in YouTube land and in Facebook land and Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
TikTok, I don't know if he's over there. But right now, Sebastian is the only thing that matters.
Amen.
And I know for a fact from about a month or so ago that Brandon Carter is working on this, Sumner County's working on this, and Seth is boots on the ground. And
Yep.
I'm going to say that, period, end of story.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
And Nick, I don't know what he's thinking or what's come over him. Somebody said, do you think he's drinking? I said, no, I just think he's lost his ever-loving freaking mind. If he was an employee of mine, he'd be in my office real quick, fast, and in a hurry. Because he is a local, there's 3 stations there, 2, 4, and 5. He is a local media person, supposed to be professional, and nothing about what he come out to do tonight was professional.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my opinion. And I know that he's getting a lot of flack from it.
Well, and you
are
are literally from that area. That's your stomping grounds.
Absolutely am. Born and raised. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I want to make that clear to the audience. There's an echo.
Now let's make it clear, Beres. This is Smiley's opinion and Smiley's opinion only. Born and raised there. You're not the only one, Bud, that lives there. But you have lost a lot of people, and you definitely have lost a lot of respect. I want to say one more thing, and then I'm going to get off.
No, you're fine. Take your time, baby.
My blood pressure up. On my intro, whenever my intro was made for me, they put it in there. Anybody can go back and look, and I'm just telling you. He said it out of his own mouth, and that's why I love to play that one. It's getting to where it's kind of messed up now because it's been played so much. But because it comes out of his own mouth, this is not the first time that Nick has tried to backtrack. And he was already trying to backtrack earlier. But I do want to tell you, when I asked you to rewind a while ago and you couldn't do it,
yeah,
he did say, and other people in the audience heard him say, because he was trying to backtrack. And I don't know if it was a slip. I don't know what it was. But he said, I'm just doing what they told me to do. Well, Nick, who is they? Lord, Justin, I got to get off of here because I'll be thinking I'm running the show in a minute.
No, go ahead, honey. Go ahead. I'm tired.
But we are going to say Sebastian Strong.
Yes, we are.
I'm talking to everybody. And I hate more than anything that he pulled this, right before.
It would have been best for him just not to go live.
Yeah, because it wasn't any news.
Right.
This was no news. I mean, what kind of news was it? It got everybody riled up.
It just confused people.
Right. He could have waited and said this afterward. Or what does he want to do? Beat law enforcement?
Well,
to the punchline or
that's
something?
what you know. Why didn't he wait till tomorrow or whenever they speak? TBI speaks or local law enforcement speaks on the year anniversary and then come out.
Exactly. And, Tony was right earlier. Tony was definitely right.
I don't see it.
Nobody wants to do an interview with him.
Oh.
Nobody. Hell, when I had Chris Proudfoot come pull me off when you and Josh both was up there and Trevor Lee, and I was doing a live with y'all and demand that I go live. Oh, I bet that hurt his feelings, huh?
Well,
he is a newscaster. He is. What is wrong with him? What I want to know.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. And I want to say one more thing, and I promise.
No, I was going to tell you. Do you want to go live after this? Because I've got something I can send you if you if you want to break it. You can break it.
Oh, maybe we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. You just want me to rev up, don't you? I don't know. We'll see. I wasn't planning on it. That's why I called in, but we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. But right now, as mad as I was at SF, it's ignorant, and that's Smiley Story World's opinion. Hell, that's Tammy Story's opinion right now. It's ignorant, not Justin. It's Tammy's. It's Smiley's. It's ignorant, and I've been doxxed. Y'all don't worry. It's ignorant. If SF is, in my opinion, right now, Nick took the cake and ice cream and crammed it all down his mouth at once. I mean, what he did tonight is inexcusable in my opinion.
I agree.
I can't see the chat, and I love y'all, and I hope I didn't interrupt.
No, they're loving you. They're loving you.
All right, and I'll see you soon.
All right, honey.
You hold your head up. If you're watching, you hold your head up.
Yes.
And whoever was asking in the audience a while ago, I guess I do sometimes presume to speak for people, but I'm not trying to speak for Seth. But Seth, I'm sure, is not mad at Ellie. Hell no, because he knows like I do what they're doing. And I didn't have a good feeling for them early on, but they're doing everything they can. But I can tell you, I'm pretty sure, because Seth has common sense, he's not mad at them, but he's like the rest of the world that's seeing this. He is mad at Nick, and he very well should be. And Mr. Chris, if you're listening, I still have questions. This time I'm prepared, and I got hard questions. Come on, buddy. Come on. Anytime, any day. You obviously know how to get in touch with me. Y'all stay Sebastian strong. I love y'all.
Love you too, honey. Appreciate you, Smiley. All right. Bye-bye, honey. All right. That was Smiley up in her. Yeah, Luna, probably. They sure can, Castle. They sure can. Yeah, I'll give Smiley something to break if she wants it. Someone just lit it in my inbox. Smiley. Let me see if I got her email. It's only up to her if she wants to do it. I don't want to. Let me see here. You want to break this. It's a little message from Nick. Hold on. One second. It's just a little bit of stuff he's. Betty, is Betty in here? from Nick B. Nick B. I can't say where it came from, but someone just dropped it in my box. That's right, Blue Bella. That's exactly right. Thank you so much, Sammy G. Really do appreciate you. Agree, whatever it's the end game. Nick Beres credibly go. It's just, to be someone who's done this since 1996, you would think that he would have waited to see what law enforcement says about okay. Okay, I just text you back. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Smiley. Did Smiley say something? She texted. Where's Smiley at? I mean, I don't want to force her to go live or anything like that, but if not, I'll break it later or tomorrow or something like that. She said, "Thank you so much, Summer's Army. Really do appreciate you, my dear." What did she say? I'm looking over it. Okay. I think there's a lot of people that was really upset with him, especially when he says flat out.
I think that's
Yes.
publicly has said we're shifting, we're still searching, and the app done in confidential. What else do we have here? I'm going to think about that. I respect that to a point, okay, and that. But I also think answering some questions and providing more information to the public is important, not only to keep it other than just to talk about the search effort, which we all can see for ourselves, which, by the way, terrific. Well done, professional, by the book, and if he was out there, they would have found him. Period. They've done a great job, and that's why, in the absence of finding him, they're considering this foul play. He had to be taken from the area, or they would have found him, unless he somehow accidentally locked himself in someone's shed that they haven't checked, or he fell down a ravine into a cave that no one knows about. Barring something bizarre like that, someone had to have taken from the area. I mean, that's the natural. Law enforcement has not said that. Law enforcement has not even said foul play. Law enforcement publicly has said we're shifting, we're still searching, but we're shifting to an investigation. Just that. All right, my sources tell me this is now a criminal investigation. They haven't given up the chance of him being out there on his own and finding him. They're going to keep looking. But yeah, they say investigation. I'll tell you, it's a criminal investigation now. It's criminal. Let's see, what else do we have here?
There you have it. We're going to have a chicken party. Y'all ready for a chicken party? Because Smiley's going live in 15 minutes. I almost played the wrong mother chicken thing. Let's have a chicken party.
Christopher! Katie! Christopher! Katie!
And it
to
was
Mr. Proudfoot, to Mr. Proudfoot, to Mr. Proudfoot.
See, I told y'all it was not a criminal investigation. Nick Beres, actually, I like him after all. He said it wasn't a criminal investigation. Here is a word from the mob crew.
Not possible because that area is not visible in the footage. My ass.
I agree with this message, Mr. Mob. I agree.
I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it's Sebastian gotten in trouble. He got caught lying, and I had asked him. I said, "Hey, you got to have a punishment for this." And drive a diesel truck, Chevrolet.
You don't even know what year he drives.
Year.
I don't remember remember off the top of my head. I think it's a
2021.
So you're.
I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it's a 2021.
Here's a message from KK.
Oh.
Suck it now.
Oh.
Suck it now.
Oh.
Suck it now.
Oh.
Suck it now.
He likes the sucky, doesn't he?
And
I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it's a
something that I believe we're pervy to. Something that I believe we're pervy to. Something that I believe we're pervy to.
Okay. I mean, yeah. Even a fly, and he's like, oh! Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah. Even a fly, and he's like, oh! Snacks, because, you know, he's 15, and snacks. Oh! Yeah. Oh! Yeah. Oh! Yeah. Snacks, because, you know, he's 15, and snacks. Snacks, because, you know, he's 15, and snacks.
Snacks. She's got to have the snacks. She loves the snacks.
What you fucking da? I don't fucking know.
I don't
Yalanna
know.
yastara. Anarana.
Okay.
I might have been a bitch to you this year. I just wanted to say that I'm still gonna be a bitch to you next year. It's New Year's, not new me. Clean slate, what?
A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
That's what I say about Nicholas. They can shut their chicken tone, chicken bone, Google Chrome, no home flip phone, disown ice cream cone, garden gnome, student loan, full-blown Indiana Jones, overgrown Flintstone, X and Y chromosome, Fred Zone, Sylvester Stallone, AutoZone, professionally seen silver Patron, head the fuck up, okay? Where you going? Where you going? It is Jana's birthday, and we need to sing to Jana. Thank you so much. You can't see me for 2 months, my dear. YouTube matters. We kept Sebastian's story alive. YouTube. Thank you so much, my dear. Thank you so much. Really, really do appreciate you, truly. And thank you so much, Betty, for 6 months. Really do appreciate that, my dear. Really, really do. My baloney has a first name. It's Nicky. My baloney has a second name. It's Beres, in my opinion. Thank you so much, Miss Betty. All right. We need to sing my rendition of Marilyn Monroe, Happy Birthday, Mr. President, to our birthday girl, who is, let's see here, I think it's Jana. Miss Jana. This one goes out to you, Miss Jana. All right. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, darling Jana. Woo. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, darling Jana. I just remembered my microphone has been on maximum volume since my phone calls. I am so sorry you could hear everything. All right, guys. Thank you all so much. Please drop Smiley's link. Cassandra, I do not see a text from you. Oh, never mind. I do. Karen Power says Exodus 34:7 is the Bible's verse that states that God visits the sins of parents of their children and grandchildren up to the 3rd and 4th generation. Oh, honey. Oh, Karen, honey, you are on it, girlfriend. We don't, no Exodus. No, ma'am. Oh, precious is thy flow that keeps me white as snow. All right, guys. Happy birthday, Jana. Justin, you should take one more call. If she wants to call in, Caroline has a tip. She called in. Caroline, lines are open. If you want to call in, you can call in, darling. Please, can you post my son's GoFundMe page? Yes, post it. Post it there in chat. Miss R. Taylor, she is our mod. Her son had a seizure, and he hit his head, and the fall did more damage than the actual seizure, far more damage, and she's had to get all new equipment and all of that. So if you can, help out in any way, I'm sure she would be eternally grateful. $1, $5, anything helps. Caroline says, not tonight, Justin. Thank you. Okay, gotcha. If you want to text me, you can text me. You can talk privately to me as well. But make sure you call that in. Of course, everything remains anonymous with me. So anyways, thank you all so very much. I really do appreciate you. We'll see you guys over at Smiley's. Much love to everyone. She's not. It is what it is. She's not. She's sleeping. Yeah, he had to have like surgery on his skull. Like, I don't know if it was brain surgery or something, but it was bad. Yeah. She's a sweetheart. All right, guys. Much love. We'll see you guys over there. Good night and God bless.